producers only budgeted us $20 for this video, so
we
already spent that on coffee and Red Bull, so we're fucked.
I was like manually fucking focusing on everybody.
And now we want a large pizza, and we're fucked.
Full time. Alright, welcome to another episode of Casting Couch. This time I have Paul again, unfortunately, and we have Andrew from AutoHobby Photography.
How are you?
So, yeah, that's why we don't do podcasts, because I cannot like keep going.
The segues are always the hardest part.
There's always like a J cut because I'm like, all right, what?
What do we do now?
Alright, that was it. Thank you.
If you watch like an actual episode, it's like how it looks versus how it actually goes.
Buddy.
Just cuts, just because you keep trying to remember what the fuck to say.
Buddy, every episode is like, it takes like 35 minutes of filming, and like the last episode was 35 minutes, and it was cut down to 7 minutes. Oh, that's how bad it is. Yeah, it's like you thought I was joking. No, it's very, very bad.
So much out of there that we talked about.
7 minutes of episode, 30 minutes of filler.
Yeah, no, dude, it's wild. Like the actual usable content is fucking insane. But who are you? What do you do?
My name is Andrew Heffernan, owner operator of AutoHobby Photography. I started this racket back in 2016. Actually, it was probably 2015 with a iPhone 4S and a wash bay. That's basically how it started for me, and then it just progressed into taking ownership/loanership of Dad's camera, and then using that for 5 years while it was outdated for another
Just
5.
stealing it or what?
Oh, well, he never used it. So it was like, he literally messaged me like, "I'm going to Cuba, needs a camera here." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, everything's there, cards and all, I'll take it."
You just never gave it back?
No, I just give it to him. He'd
Wow.
use it. He'd take his card like with his memories from the trip, and then I'd use it again for another 2 years.
Jeez, so how did you get started in like automotive? Because you started as a detailer, right?
Yeah, I detailed for 8 years. I think it was 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Went and did millwright in 2015. Graduated 2016, and yeah, that's what I did. Was it was 9 months out in Placentia, and so I started messing around with that camera, figuring out f-stop and your shutter speeds and all that stuff. Just messing around with die-cast models, basically. And then you just took off after that.
So now you shoot mostly
Mostly the motorsport stuff now. Us out at Scales and the Spec D series. Scattered client here and there in between, but yeah, it's just still, like I said, it's in the name. It's hobby. It's what it is.
Yeah, I think that's what well, unless you're like Larry Chen, wherever you have like a huge name, like you can't
Yeah,
do.
yeah, and 7 or 8 $3,000 cameras at your disposal.
What?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But no, that's my aspirations, but I'm also realistic. So
Yeah. Well, it takes time, dude. Like, you know what I mean? And like I keep telling you, people are cheap, especially in drifting. Like, nobody wants to, like, I know because I don't pay you. So.
The only reason Andrew was signed on is to take advantage of it. That is it.
It's like a slave too. It's like, yeah, you're an 881. By the way, can you shoot this?
I'm about to solve your media expenses right quick. I get paid with attaboys and like exposure and fun.
Yeah, but the thing
and memories.
But like I told you when like we first started, because so basically we went through a full round of photographers, because there's not, like, I never found somebody who was like really was very consistent, and they were like, Andrew is a fucking genius behind the lens. Like he thinks whenever I have an idea and I tell him that it's the exact same fucking thing that I'm thinking that he's shooting. So it's like he's really, really good into that. And for a while we kept switching rosters, because they either would pay them and they wouldn't deliver the pictures, or they would like be like, oh yeah, I'm working on it, and because that's what happened with.
Oh.
Yeah, we paid her and we never got a picture. So we're like, oh, wow.
Yeah, that's something I noticed with Andrew. Like, we'll be at Scales on a Sunday, and we'll be at Scales till 10, 11, sometimes midnight.
Yeah.
And by Tuesday morning, I'm getting Andrew sending me pictures on Facebook, like, yo, look at this shot, like,
yeah,
like so fast, so like.
And it's not like buddy just fucking take picture and all uploads it. Like Andrew goes through fucking how many fucking photos do you take? Like
I go through OCD hell is what I like to call it. A lot of photos. How do I describe this? Like I find that I get my best photos when I'm not continuous shooting. So that's when I'm panning and I'm like click, click.
Huh.
Versus like a lot of people shoot like I don't know 100 frames per second, brrr, like you know what I mean?
And they have like shit ton of pictures.
Yeah, you still get great shots, but like I don't know. That's what I call OCD hell. I'll get into a mood where I'll just want to do the non-continuous shooting, and then I'll go crazy like at mission and go 100 shots per second, like brrr, crazy, and I end up with like 10,000 photos, and I'm like,
Jeez.
Yeah.
So time to go through this for the next month.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to find that balance, right?
Yeah.
At scales, I find, and that's how I'm able to do that, is that I'm not doing 100 frames per second shooting all the time. I'm doing the panning shots and also a lot of stills.
And it's weird. It's crazy because even just scales is an open part. There's nothing like nice about like. There's not.
No,
it's not like a nice background. It's like it's just like a way station, right? And like the best shot that I have in my car, where honestly, like I'll link it whenever I hit it. But my favorite shot in my car is you took it at scales, like randomly. You just like the background, the car looked fast. There was smoke, like you know what I mean. It's just
Car looked fast.
yeah.
Looked. That's everyone remember that. Looked.
SR20 life.
Yeah, no scales too. Like some Andrew shots are the best ones I have. Like
Yeah.
There's some still shots that Andrew took of mine when the car was just parked, and one is kind of the rear quarter shot.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about,
I love that one because you see me with like the 881 hoodie on just off to the side of the car, and it just works perfect. And then there's another one of kind of me and Rude are doing like a stare down over by the pit section too.
Oh yeah,
We're both changing tires, and
Yeah.
that
I think
one,
I know.
I think I know
that one I love
yeah.
too. It's such a banger. And
Like-
I mean, this guy will basically risk his life taking some of these pictures. Like I'll be like coming around the bathrooms like just as fast as I can.
You just
and I
see
just look
Andrew
and there's
peeking
Andrew,
out.
and I'm like, oh god.
Oh god.
Hey, don't hit Andrew. Hit anything else but Andrew.
All right. We haven't talked about it until now, so just keep this in your mind. I am cognitively aware that you are sliding at me. That's why, like Chantel, when she first came out, she was kind of freaked out a little bit, like with how close I was getting. Like, don't worry. I know, I'm watching. If it goes wrong, I'm first thing.
And then there's me that's filming Ophir. That's really aiming for me, and I'm just looking through my phone like, oh, that's a good shot. I'm like a foot away from him. Holy
We had
shit.
a similar incident. It wasn't really an incident, but I think it was Mark. Mark was being chased by Jesse at Northern Bout in the Outer Zone 1, and Mark had overshot a little bit and clipped the inside the pylon and sent it flying. And I'm here like click 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 click. Phew.
The foot.
Was this?
Click 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 click.
Was that when you were standing over by where I was?
Yeah,
at? That was
yeah.
on the quad. I remember that. I remember
Pylon
that
just
happening.
flew in front.
Yeah, I'll show you the picture later. You can actually see it's like click pylon, click crunch, click. Oh, it's too good.
Holy shit.
But yeah, scales is it is rough. Like if you were there to physically see it in person, it's a rough lot. It's got a what I call a cavern going down the whole center of it there. You know,
Yeah.
that little rise
pretty
there.
big dip.
And
Yeah.
there's no like we have a general layout that we usually run, but there's nothing that delimits the road.
Yeah.
So somebody can take it super wide, the other one's gonna take it super shallow. So whenever you're well, for me it's whenever I'm chasing, I'm like I gotta really focus on the car in front, but. For you, whenever you're taking pictures, like maybe one car is gonna be like 8 feet away from you, but the other one's gonna like just place you.
Yep. Who's a good example of that? I'll say when Mark is doing runs with Jordan, in Jordan's vet.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Mark's car it's Mark's car. It's tuned to do what it does, and Jordan is progressively tuning his vet to get to that point. So, like a lot of times, he'll loop it a lot wider than Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Like Mark, I'm like, oh, okay, Mark, here comes Mark. I'm like, holy shit, here comes Jordan.
Yeah.
Takes a picture of like his tires.
Like, knock on wood, it hasn't happened yet, but I really don't understand how I haven't had a fucking pebble go through a lens yet.
Fuck, that's right.
I have not had that happen yet.
Yeah,
I've
especially
had
that
camera fly
Robbie
off the
is
back of
so-
your car at speed.
Yeah.
That time, I remember I left it on the back of your hatch. You started going. I'm like, oh look,
I felt so bad.
Here's my camera.
Here's my camera. Yeah. But yeah, no, I haven't had a single close call like that yet.
Which is pretty crazy to think about because that parking lot is just
Oh.
dirt and dust and there's how many 18-wheelers go literally through that on a daily basis.
It's literally,
right?
you ask anybody who knows 63 north and south, that's what
terrible.
it is.
It's rocks and
just
gross.
pebbles and
Yeah, because it's basically just a truck full in. That's all that it
And
is.
that scale is open. Every single truck, northbound and southbound, has to pull in.
Yeah.
So it's constantly filthy, just rocks, dirt.
Well, there's times we go down there, we can't get in there.
Yeah.
Right? Like
It's, and a lot of times we gotta go I know because I go to it. I go knock on their window. I'm like, hey, do you mind if we drift right next to you? Like, Buddy's like halfway asleep, but most of the time, Buddy just comes out or goes on top of his fucking cargo and just takes.
Yeah, I've seen that so many times.
Yeah.
We'll be going, like a truck will pull in and just he's there to sleep, but in the end he's
just listening to limiter all.
yeah
all night,
he's
man.
usually getting out with the phone camera and then. After about 10 minutes, he takes off to the rest area down the road a little bit.
Like, my other question was, like, with motorsports photography, like, how is it to shoot for, like, whenever went to mission, you shot for...
Oh, okay, alright, yeah. So, when we were shooting at scales, and we had a fella out there with a speed trap gun, I think he borrowed it from a local PD guy. He was shooting, and I think the highest entry at scales was, I believe it was Mark, and I think it was just over 100 kilometers an hour he was coming into that launch.
That makes sense.
Which is it's
pretty
insane.
But that's not an average run. That's Mark trying to get 100 kilometers an hour into that entry.
Yeah.
So, like, I'd say our average speeds at scales is...
Usually it's 80 and 90.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, around 80 kilometers an
Yeah.
hour. So, and when you're shooting that in what I call an enclosed space, closed track, closed loop, and generally there's only two real layouts you guys would do through that. You get used to it. It's easy to pan. It's easy to follow, right? But then when I went to mission, first professional competition I ever shot, and friggin' I can't remember who was up first. I think it was Ryan Drutz or Drutz, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and I think Chris Pollard were coming in, and there's like buck 10 V8 screaming. I'm like, like, and then so it took I think the first couple of hours of the practice even to finally start getting my mojo, we'll call it, or in the zone, and being able to follow and get those nice crisp clear.
And then there's rules that you gotta follow.
Oh,
like
yeah,
they have,
you gotta be you can't be, what was it? You gotta be in a certain field of vision of the drivers.
Yeah, and if you
can only cross at certain times.
Didn't they get mad at you guys because one time you guys went out in like a spot that we're not allowed to photograph?
Oh, yeah.
And they stopped everything.
Yeah, it wasn't me, I swear to God. But somebody did get into a position where they weren't supposed to be. I guess they call it like the line of fire, more specifically, I guess, for like the tail ends of the vehicles, like so you don't launch shrapnel.
Yeah.
I'm assuming. And yeah, someone got in that zone. I can't remember who it was. I think it was an older gentleman, actually, if I remember correctly. But yeah, they had to shut her down for a good solid 10-15 to get everybody on the same page again. And then,
That's a big thing. I remember being at Stratotech during Stratobash, and I was driving Dubai's car. And there was some people, it was at the carousel part, right before you go back to the main straight, the back carousel.
Yeah.
And I came in there, and I went a little too far to the outside of the track, and the rear bumper nailed like 3 pylons. It was like 3 pylons set up, and it was just doo-doo-doo, and I fired all 3 of them into the field, and I could actually see some of the guys that were in that field were kind of like, oh shit, like trying to get out of the way because I just launched them all in there, and like that stressed me out a bit. I'm like, man, some of these guys have some balls to be in there.
Or like Gabe that literally comes like an inch away from our bumper while we're drifting. You ever seen that?
No, I haven't. Disclosure, I haven't been to Stratotech yet.
No, not that Stratotech at Mexico, the industrial one. Like, like the front clip that we hit. Like the. You know which one I'm talking about? Like.
Yes, okay, yeah.
So there's like that front clip wherever we go.
Yeah, yes, okay.
Holy fuck, man! There's a few times I was like, man, I'm sure I'm hitting him for sure.
He runs out quite a bit.
Yeah. But never got hit. He always jumps out like
I think
right
he's
at
pretty
the last
aware, and
yeah.
he's pretty agile too. Like that guy's, like a ragdoll. even if you did hit him, I'm sure he'd just get up. And
Do a couple flips.
I'm sure he'd just get up and keep going anyways. Like he's
150 pounds of fury. Yeah, no, there's been a few times, and like that Mexico spot you're talking about is even sketchier again because it's even less looked after, as if that was more possible.
well,
so
that's
like
it's a construction site.
Well, yeah,
It's
right. So the
straight
amount of
construction all day long.
gravel that's like on the side of the road, like there's been times, man,
Oh,
O'Fair
dude.
scared the shit out of me, and like I go to book it out of the way, and like skate sneakers, loose gravel, like where are you going? Nowhere, right? So there's been a few times I've had my heart up my throat.
Yeah,
no doubt,
that spot
but-
is sketchy. I think every time we go there, somebody's in the ditch.
Yeah.
Usually it's you.
It's usually me. I'm not gonna lie. It's usually me. I've been the first one that had to get pulled in the ditch every time we went there.
Oh, but it's still like, dude, I love that spot because it's so you're always on the edge. You're
Yeah, like,
always on the
At
edge.
scales, it's like one thing. Like if you spin out, like okay, what are
Yeah,
you
space.
risking? You could hit the light pole, but like chances are you're not gonna.
If you,
like,
if
but
you
like if you spin out,
realistically
you're
know.
fine. At,
Yeah.
I'm more worried about hitting somebody else, like that you're drifting with.
Yeah,
Other than
100%,
that- Other than
100%.
that, like.
Because
Yeah.
scales is like as long as you have like a basic understanding of drifting, like as long as you have like certain background of drifting, you'll be fine all day there. Like there's one pole, there's one washroom, and you just gotta watch for the crowd. But the crowd, like usually we try to tell them to like fuck off,
back off.
just like back up a little bit.
But like even with just learning being at scales, there's still that big open area.
There
where,
is,
well,
yeah.
that's where I learned, right? You guys taught me donuts and figure eights in
Yeah.
that one open area.
Yeah.
But like at Mexico spot, it's like
Mexico is like if you fuck up,
one
you're in the
mistake,
ditch.
You're
one
gonna
mistake,
fuck
you're
up.
in the ditch, and like some of those ditches are not.
They're fucking.
They're
Francois.
not forgiving.
No.
Francois, I thought he was rolling this year.
Yeah, yeah. But
I
it's,
thought he was done.
I love it just for the fact that there's that little element of things. So I like to to kind of dip my wheel in the ditch and then come out, and I love that spot. I really want to go tandem with Ophir there, but it always ended up that either my car was fucked or his car was fucked every time we went there. But yeah,
I feel like people break there more often too. Like almost every time we go there,
Break?
somebody breaks.
well,
Oh,
because
like vehicle brake,
Yeah,
you mean?
the vehicle break.
well, the thing is, like that front clip, whenever you hit it, if you don't hit it correctly, if you go too deep into it, it happens to that happens all the time because you like we try to link it in a certain way that if we don't link it properly, your old front clip goes in the ditch and
Yeah,
it comes
well-
back out.
Yeah, that's on the front end, and then on the back end too. There's a nice dip too.
Yeah.
Like, there's a nice bump that can send you completely off track. Like,
Yeah,
where-
you got to be careful. Like you can flirt with it. Like that's what I learned. Like I love that stuff. I just love that stuff. You can flirt with it, but if you go too balls in it, you're just gonna get sunk
don't
in.
get
yeah.
too greedy.
Yeah, you're just gonna
Yeah.
get sunk in.
Yeah.
So
like I remember last year learning out there. It was like just getting so ballsy with it. Like full throttle as fast as I could. Like third gear entry into it, and immediately just because I'd never drifted there. It was immediately, yep, I'm going in the ditch right now.
and it happens. The thing with drifting, because I keep editing those videos, and like every time we talk about me crashing into you, so every time I'm like, fuck, people won't drift with me anymore. But the thing is, you like. For those, I don't always crash into Paul. There's a backstory too.
There is,
We touch each other twice, and there's a backstory. But the thing that people are scared of, they're scared of messing up with drifting. That's why I keep telling people don't build a car too nice where you're gonna be scared of drifting.
Exactly.
My car is my car from like far. It looks okay. It looks fine. But if you go close to it, like I kick my car. It's made to take bump. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
100%.
don't be scared of going to the ditch one as long as you don't
No.
roll like
Well, I think we've all seen from enough clips that me and the G have a
buddy.
love-hate relationship. I
Yeah.
love that car. I don't think it loves me because I from using the back bumper as a trampoline to
Yeah.
just
That's what
doing anything I can to hurt that car.
That's what people like. Me and Paul are weird about our car. Like he's the same shit as me. I build my car to drift and to tap doors. Paul just has no understanding of value of anything. Like anything. That he showed up the first time one of the first time I met him, he came here to help with a car, I think, and he was wearing a Gucci hat. He has
This one
understanding.
here to be exact.
He has no understanding on how money works, so he just kicks his car.
Yeah, underneath the car with trans fluid dripping on me and I'm wearing Gucci.
Yeah. But anyway, like another thing I wanted to talk to you about, like, because you're trying, it's fair to say that the end goal is to make money out of photography, right?
Yes.
Like that, like it's not necessarily the end goal, but like at one point that's what like.
Well, of course. Yeah,
Kind of a dream, you'd say, like
Yeah.
do something that you are passionate about that right now is a hobby to eventually be something.
That's right. Yeah, I don't want to be swinging 5-pound fucking sledgehammers and rebuilding massive TT pumps for the rest of my life. No, and anyone who tells himself that, they're lying.
You're lying.
They're lying.
Well, for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, like the running joke with me and Chantel is where Chantel's doing sales at Ford. And she keeps telling me she's doing great this month and great. And I'm like, it's my love. You rake in the money, I'll retire and do photography. No problem. But yeah, no, that is the end goal. That would be nice, yeah.
But I'll hard because I know like I've been trying to help you like get your like contracts and shit like that because but like it's hard, dude. Like it's not it's no like I said before, people don't want to pay.
No.
You know what I mean?
And people look at it for face value again, like they look at just the guy with the camera up to his eye and he takes the picture and then half an hour later you have your shot.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes you might look out and you might get that shot, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of the time that's not the case. It takes a couple hours of editing. You do off one edit and then you like look at it for half an hour and you're like, oh shit, now I gotta do that again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and a lot of people don't look at it like that. And
when you got into photography, was it always automotive photography as the end goal, or did you get into photography before cars were even like
that's
in your mindset?
I've been absolutely obsessed with these money pits for like my whole life. So like when I did start catching on and like getting interested in the cameras part of it, that's where it started. That is 100% where it started. And then I used what I had learned about like rule of thirds and the technical mumbo jumbo that I could bore your eyes and ears out all day with. And then I started applying that to different stuff, like nature, etc.
Because that's one like big thing that I keep telling. I've told that to I think at least 5 person that I personally know that creates content, like either videography or photography.
Yep.
Fucking do other shit. Don't just do car.
Yep.
You can get paid. Like you got it first experience. Like you can just at a car. Like well, it still revolves around car, but at a car wash, you just go there, you take some flex, and then you tell them like, yeah, I can do that for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every business wants that professional front.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Napa up here. Like if you go look at Napa, Fort McMurray compared to Napa anywhere else, you'll see how much more dedication they put to their social media.
Yeah,
100%. Their content, like they make videos every month. They make pictures every month, like professionally, and that's why that is probably not just why, but it's one big part of why that Napa is the best selling in North America.
Yeah,
For sure.
Napa, Fort McMurray compared to like where I'm from on the East Coast, our Napa's like
No.
I don't even think they have Instagram or Facebook pages. Like they might just say yeah we're open.
Yeah.
But like as for like using content to actually reach out to people and stuff like that, like Napa, Fort McMurray it's top.
Yeah, absolutely, and a lot of not just the Napas, but like a lot of other companies struggle with that too, and that's the changing in the times, right?
Because a lot of them are still old school and they don't fully understand the power of social media.
Yep.
As when if you have like a very professional looking page or whatever else,
Yep.
it makes your business look like a whole
100%.
different level. So
And to add to what you were just saying here about the social media bit, I didn't have when I moved up here a couple years ago. I didn't have social media. I did, but it was kind of
personal stuff.
but like I just kind of I don't know. I hit a ceiling, we'll call it, and I just didn't want much to do with it anymore. So I got rid of it, and then I'd say probably six months into being up here, I realized that like social media is probably the best tool for advertising.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right, and it's free unless you're paying into boosting your ads and stuff like that.
That's why I keep saying to you, like let's say Area 63, where they did like at the beginning of the year. Now they got better, but at the beginning of the year they had a very low social presence on social media.
Yep.
I kept telling them you don't need to pay for expensive branding. You don't need to pay for this or that.
Yep.
Go on Facebook, make a post today about your weekend or whatever. Stay consistent, And that's all we did for Northern Bout. We just ran our normal social media, and when it came to Northern Bout, for the first 2 weeks before the event, we spent like $400 on advertising on Facebook directly,
Yep.
and we had like really good turnout. You know what I mean? You don't need much. You just need to like get to have a presence.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the shit you can go back through if you were to and see your outlook of who you reached. I guarantee you from coast to coast, man.
Yeah.
Coast to coast. I know for a fact that my brother is down in Newfoundland right now, plugging the shit out of it. So yeah, like he is so stoked to be here, and that was another really cool thing with Northern Bout. He had never been here in Fort McMurray before, never been to a drift competition before in his life, and he come up here and boom, all our friends are competing in a $10,000 showdown.
Yeah.
And he's there like,
Well, I can remember being back home, and I texted you about this when it happened, but I can remember being back home, and I was wearing this hoodie, and somebody that I didn't go to the same high school as him, but like we were in high school at the same time, different high schools.
I got you, yeah.
But like small towns, we all know each other.
Range, yeah.
Actually seen the hoodie and brought it up. I was like, oh my god, like, do you know those guys? Because like I've seen them on YouTube, I've seen them drifting. Like that's pretty cool. I was like, well, yeah, actually, I'm pretty good friends with all of these guys. And I remember texting JC right away, and that was early days of 881 that I was pretty impressed about that it had already reached,
that far, yeah.
people far on the East Coast. It's not just in this town anymore.
You had last laughter for
You got me for like a meter, and then you blew it up.
Yeah.
It's okay. I did that twice this summer.
Well, talking about being cheap and certain stuff, not like when I blew up that engine. Don't care, get it fucking running, get it running. But like then I'm like $2,000 wheels.
Yeah. No, well, I'm a big advocate of fake wheels. You give me all the fake wheels. I'll break all the fake wheels before I buy
I
buy one set.
personally feel better ruining $180 wheel versus a $550 wheel.
Well,
Personally.
Well, the thing is, like, my love of drifting comes into the hardcore drifting, wherever you're side by side, you bump into like you get your will to bump on somebody. Like that's why Ophir has like bump on his wrap. That's why I have some too. It's what we like to do. So for me to spend $3,000 on a set of wheels doesn't make much sense.
Well,
and then there's this guy.
Hey, listen, all of my real wheels were cheap.
Fair enough.
Right? I got 3-piece wheels out of Edmonton for $60. Dude said he bought a house,
and
they were in the garage of the house, and he didn't know what they were, just wanted them out of there, so he threw them on Kijiji for $60. And all that I seen in the pictures, it was a work. I seen a
W.
No, it said Equip on the center cap. So I called Jordan Rude right away because I knew he was in the city. I was like, go get these right now.
Yeah.
I had no clue if they were real or not, and then got them back to Fort Mac, sure shit.
But I mean, $60 if they're fake.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was thinking, right? If they're fake, whatever, right? I'm at $60. So I just sent the dude the e-transfer right away. I didn't care if,
Again, if they were fake, $60, you could have got your $60 back, right? If you didn't want them. Yeah. Or you could have just threw them on the G and ruined the shit out of them.
Well, that's all my plan was. Is like, they look half decent, even if they are fake, I'll still ruin them, right? They're $60, they got tires on them.
And then there's me rubbing on your fucking rear wheel. Remember those?
Yes.
Paul was like, yeah, touch me. I went and touched him, but I touched his rear wheels.
That was funny. I was taking that video. I was like, yeah, you touched him.
You could see like a black mark on his rear.
Which wheels were they? I can't even remember.
I don't remember, but we both were like, we were looking at each other, but me and you were in the car.
I was in the car. Yeah.
I was like, I'm pretty sure I touched him, but I couldn't see anything.
You touched him.
I couldn't see anything on his car. I was like,
we felt it.
Yeah, I was like,
I got out too, and I'm like looking for it because that was before the Jeep was damaged.
Yeah,
that was before all of the damage happened. So like we're looking for it. I was like, I don't see anything.
Yeah.
What happened? And then we found it on the wheel. The wheel was
on the real wheels. The only thing that was like.
I found it like there's this one guy out Scales. He came up to me one day, and I think I had the car on the Graham lights or the CRKs, and he came up. He's like, "No way that they're real." I was like, "Yeah, they're real." He's like, "Are you drifting on those?" I was like, "Yeah, 100%." And then I threw on the Model 6s. He's like, there's no way they're real. I'm like, these are real as well. And I'm like showing them the back of the truck. I'm like, we got 4 AVS Model 6s, 2 CR Kais, 2 Gram Lights, 2 work equipment Helos, 2 Workmeisters. I was like, we got, everything here is real. And he's like, you're fucked. What is wrong with you? And I'm like, well, every real wheel here was less than $500. So
I don't get that stigma though. Like, it seems to be a stigma. Like, people who are like obsessed with real wheels and like peasants buying other wheels. No, but like, it's just and then you look at someone like yourself. It doesn't matter if it's real or fake. I'm gonna destroy the shit out.
Well, my most expensive wheels that I have in my collection are my fast FC09s that are a fake wheel. I paid
Really?
Fake.
Yeah, they're the most expensive wheels that I have in my whole set of wheels.
Huh. Yeah, it's the one that I like, right?
They're like TE knockoffs.
Yeah.
Right? I bought them from Aaron Day. He got them for me at Wheels Plus.
Okay.
And they're the most expensive set of wheels I've ever bought, and they were like $1,000. And I'm saying, like, again, I have Workmeisters, CR Kais, like, but still, the fake wheels are the most expensive wheels I bought.
Didn't you pop the tires once on the Workmeister?
No, that was the AVS Model 6s, because at that point I knew they were considered a real wheel, right? They're a Advan wheel. I knew they were considered real, but I didn't know what they were worth. And
I remember when you found out.
I blew the tires on them, but like I was like just so into it at that point, I stayed in it. So I'm riding rim, and I'm drifting on just rim, being an idiot. And it was like 2 or 3 days later, a set came up in Rare Wheels Awareness for like $3,500, and I almost threw up.
The same Sunday you was like...
They were in great shape, and I just completely, now they're terrible. Now they're just ruined.
Oh, man.
2 of them don't hold air. The,
Yeah,
the
like,
paint is beat off them.
It's just so fucked up because like my favorite set of wheels are like it's Advan SA3Rs V2s, and like if you were to go back 20 years ago, they were like a relatively unheard of or unrecognized wheel. Like not very many people worldwide say use them. Mm-hmm. And now, like I said, there's 20 odd year old sets of those wheels, corroded to hell, paint chipped galore, and they're still selling for over $2,000.
So SA3, they're 3-spoke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like Brandon, same as...
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So his are the version 1s.
Okay,
I think they're 2-piece.
Anything 3-spoke right now is kind of blowing up. They're in.
Fucking 10 years ago, people went, ew. And now
Well, I can remember me being like 16-year-old me, and I was actually looking at a Civic Hatch with 3 spokes on it. They were Advan 3 spokes.
Oh, yeah.
And I hated them. I was like, yeah, if I buy this car, they're going. Like, they gotta go. And now I'm like, yeah, 3 spokes are dope.
My thing is always looked like Sunfire rims.
Yeah,
that was always been my big
they
thing.
kind of do.
And then Andrew, you showed me 3 spokes on MR2. I was like, oh, fuck it. You know
what?
what?
I want to get these.
They
Really?
They
3 spokes? I'm
work.
like, fucking look.
Yeah. Actually doesn't look that bad.
No. Then there's kids like me, man. I was fucking, I don't know, 6 or 7 years old playing Auto Modelista and PS2, rocking Advans and every vehicle in there. Like, yeah. I just don't understand it. Like I said, that there are literally 20-odd-year-old pieces of aluminum that people are making replicas of now. Like, it was to my understanding, like with art, once people are making replicas of your art piece, that drives the fucking price down or up. I can't remember now.
Well, I find real wheels right now, especially if they're multi-piece, are going up.
Oh, multi-piece, it makes
Like
perfect sense.
anything that's 3-piece is going up.
But these are monoblock, literally just 20-year-old pieces of aluminum. Literally. Just cut out in a certain shape.
Yeah, still going up.
I don't know.
It's the name, right? The name.
Yeah.
Well, look at what they're doing with like the SN95 Mustang 3 spokes. They're going friggin' mental. Like,
Yep. I've seen a few
Holy.
people running those now, actually.
yeah, everyone's dying for those now.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's on the big nostalgia kick. I think is what it is.
I can't keep going. Those fucking guys with weird wheels. That was another episode of Casting Couch. We're gonna go.
That's my cue.
Yeah, we'll pin the best comment from the last episode on right there or on Paul's if we don't show a video of Paul dancing once again.
Oh, listen. That video is now gone around. Everybody has now seen that video.
What's your socials?
Socials. AutoHobby Photography. That's at AutoHobby Photography on Instagram. AutoHobby Photography on Facebook. And I guess my personal Instagram handle is _TheRealHef.
Yeah, I haven't touched that one.
And just to verify before we close this out, if somebody that wasn't looking for a car photographer, like say somebody wanted a wedding photography or maternity photography done, is that something that you would also do through your page if somebody reached out to you?
Absolutely.
That was local.
Absolutely.
So remember that. If anyone sees this and they're local to Fort Mac and you need a photographer, he's more than just automotive, even if his name is AutoHobby.
Take off the auto and just like multi.
Yeah, just multi-hobby.
Multi-hobby photography. And what's your handles?
My socials are Paul Gracie _ on Instagram. Also Gravy Drifts on Instagram. And yeah, that's it. I don't have like a Facebook page.
Paul Gracie.
Yeah,
athlete.
Paul Gracie, my personal Facebook page, but I won't accept you if I don't know you. Somewhat.
It's like category athlete.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for watching and thanks for coming in, bud.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Yes, bud.
Appreciate it.
Oh,
Dylan, you son of a bitch!
what the fuck is that?